Well, howdy, and welcome back to the New Year's edition of the Mark Driscoll Show. It is 2026. Today, we're taking a step back from the chaos of culture and looking forward with clarity. First, we're going to talk about casting a God-given vision for your life, your marriage, and your future. Because if you don't set the direction, life gladly will set it for you. Then, in segment 2, we're going to look ending the year the right way, remembering God's victories, celebrating his faithfulness, and learning how to build altars of gratitude in our homes, just like Joshua did. All right, let's jump in.
Well, thank you to our partners at Goldco. Since we have been partnering with them, we have gotten some questions from you. One of the most common questions is now the right time to buy gold and silver, or should you wait for prices to come down? Well, here's the answer. Precious metals are not quick flips. You buy precious metals for legacy, to preserve assets for your retirement and for your children. While you're waiting for the perfect price, your cash is losing value. It's literally melting while you are waiting. That's why I'm encouraging you to put your money into gold and silver with our partners at Goldco. They'll give you a free 2026 gold and silver kit to help you learn more. Plus, there's a bonus silver or gold offer, one you can't beat. It's a 10% instant match for those who qualify. So here's what you need to do. Give Goldco a call today, 855-512-GOLD. Again, that's 855-512-GOLD, or you can just click on the link below. Thank you very much. Take care, and God bless.
All right, first segment, we wanted to talk about setting vision for your life in a new year. How important is it that a couple or a family has a vision for their life?
Super important. Jesus says, house divided cannot stand. And division literally means two visions. So husband and wife need to have one vision. And once you have a shared vision, like this is what we're doing this year, these are our priorities this year, these are the things that we did last year that didn't really work. These are the things that we don't have time or energy or money for in the future. Then you've got a blueprint. Think of it in this way, like once an architect puts together a build plan, well, then the crews can show up and build it. In a marriage, you need to have a blueprint. Like, what are we building? And then we could spend the rest of the year building what we've architected. And so, husband and wife, you got to get time together to put together your blueprint. Like this year, what are we doing? What are we building? And then you can work together on that vision.
Yeah. I mean, life is going to happen whether you plan it or not. But if you want to have it go the way that you would like it to go and the way the Lord would like it to go, make a plan, have a vision, make sure it's Holy Spirit led, and you can have a future together that you actually enjoy.
Does the beginning of the year, do you feel like it's important for a couple to get together and talk through these things and try to set a vision for the year?
It's a natural time. I mean, for most people, it's when the rest of your life is sort of getting a reset. Usually financially, most people, that's when you begin your budget and it begins your tax season. Practically with work, if you're going to get a new role or responsibility, usually that's kind of the window that happens. And so it's kind of that natural point in life. And for most people, if they don't have a plan, they'll just spend their time reacting. And without a blueprint for what you want to do, you may not be doing things that are bad, but you're going to end up doing things that aren't best. And you're going to make commitments because early on in the year, maybe you've got some time, some energy, some money, and you're like, well, I'll say yes, and I'll say yes, and I'll say yes. And then a few months later, you're like, I shouldn't have said yes.
Overwhelmed, yeah.
I should have had the money for that and the time for that and the energy for that, but I've already committed it because I didn't know exactly what I was doing. So I took good, but I didn't wait for best. And I've done that 1,000 times. That's been my flaw over and over and over, is taking the first opportunity, not waiting for the best opportunity because we weren't aligned on what we were trying to do for that year.
Yeah, and I'm a doer. I love serving. I like saying yes. I had fear of man in the first years of our marriage, so I didn't say no. And life just is everything in front of you instead of what's the plan? Pull up, cast a vision, have a plan, and then are those things best fitting in that vision and that plan? And I never even considered that in the first part of our marriage. It was just, I'm just going to do what's in front of me because that's what's in front of me. And so life gets wasted, time gets wasted, money gets wasted, energy gets wasted because when you commit to something, energy is also something that you need to consider how much you're giving energy wise. And so I think us in the more recent years of our marriage, having a vision retreat, having a plan has definitely been more settling for us, more peaceful for us, so that we know we're both working toward the same thing. Like you said, not division, but one vision together and wanting to fulfill that and see how the year goes and be excited about it, working at it together.
Yeah. And for us, it's been things too. Like if we're going to put something on the plate, we got to take something off the plate. Like for us, we've got 2 new grandchildren this year. So for us, like those are 2 new people that we need. They weren't in our life last year. They're in our life this year. So we've got to make room for them, and we've got to make room to know them and to get to know them
Yes.
and to serve their parents. And so each year it's looking at, what is work? What is life? And who are the people that are entering into our life? Who are the people that are exiting our life? And being really intentional about that. And what most people do, they just keep putting things on their plate until it's stacked and overflowing, and they don't take anything off their plate.
Yeah.
And what happens then is you either start falling apart or you start failing on your responsibilities.
Yeah. You lose track of priority because
Yeah.
you just keep putting stuff on top of what you've committed to.
Well, and then your marriage starts to
Yes,
suffer.
yes.
You're not feeling close. You're like, hey, we're not doing so great. We're not getting our time together. And I mean, this has been our struggle is we do shoulder to shoulder really well.
Yeah.
We need to work really hard to get face to face. Time to talk, time to process, time to work stuff through, because we have so much responsibility. We can just stay very busy with tasks and responsibilities.
Yes.
Yeah. How would you guys encourage couples, families to set vision with their priorities in mind, the God-given priorities in mind? What would that look like for a couple?
I'd say, yeah, so let's say we try to get away in January for at least a couple of days. And it really is starting with what are our priorities. And the first priority has got to be a healthy relationship with God. Because everything else in your life is going to be God working through you. And if you and God aren't good, you're not going to have anything that you need for the rest of your life because it comes from God. And then it's healthy relationship with your spouse. And then it's healthy relationship with each of your kids. And it's not just your kids. So like, how do you have time and energy for each of your children? And as they grow up and they differentiate and they're adults, they each need different things from you. And so, maybe one is, single and getting married and they need a lot of coaching. Maybe one is, in middle school and struggling and needs encouragement. What are they going to need this year? And then maybe there's grandkids. So it's God, spouse, kids, and or grandkids. And then it's going to be probably work and your responsibilities to provide for your family. And then it's going to be extended family and friends and other responsibilities. And so it's even agreeing, because what happens during the year, there's going to be emergencies and pushy people who try to insert themselves up the list. I know I'm not a priority, but today I'm creating an emergency, or today I'm turning up the volume. Today I'm going to insert myself.
Yeah.
And that creates jealousy within the marriage. And jealousy is when somebody's in my place. And this can be an extended family member that's unhealthy, or it can be a crisis or emergency that suddenly shows up that you didn't anticipate. And so as a couple, it's starting with the priorities. And then as opportunities come, it's making decisions based upon your priorities. Like, So if a priority comes, if an opportunity comes, I should say, it's like, well, it's not bad, but that's not our priority.
Mhm.
Yep.
Like for me, I don't get a lot of speaking requests when I show up. Usually something goes bad, but when I do get a speaking request, it's like, okay, but if I get on a plane and I'm gone for days, does that help my relationship with the Lord? Does it get me closer to my
Yep.
wife? Does that help my relationship with my kids, with my grandkids? No, it doesn't serve any of those things. So traveling to speak isn't a bad thing, but it's not in my priorities.
Yeah.
So the answer is no. Not that it's bad, but it takes time and energy from the things that are best.
Mm-hmm.
Just as an example. And there's a million of these things.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the questions we got was, how do you handle conflict on your vision for your marriage? I feel like for Ashley and I, that's been a big one this year. Of there are a lot of things. I think the longer you're in marriage, more kids, more job responsibilities that do jump the priority list. And one of the easiest things to do is literally just draw out those priorities. And
Yeah.
it's like, where is this one? Oh, it's after all those things. Well, it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
And it's a very unifying, easy conversation to have that's not personal if you set the stuff ahead of time.
Yeah.
Well, here at Real Faith, we are a Thor hammer. We're not big, but we make a big difference. We'd love to have you partner with us. You can actually text partner to 99383. Again, that's text partner to 99383, and you can help our little team make a big difference.
What things practically are you guys going to think through and pray through schedule? You're like a deep end of the pool planner for the year, and you're resetting your schedule and time off and all kinds of things. What would be some things you'd think couples should talk about?
I mean, definitely time together, investing in your marriage every year. Every, like whether it's a quarterly, overnight, or I mean, whatever you
What's your
agree
date
on.
night? What's your
Date
quarterly
night,
getaway?
yes.
What's your vacations, holidays?
Yep. How are you spending time connecting over your spiritual walk? Are you checking in how you're doing with the Lord and how I'm doing with the Lord, and what are you learning and what are you reading through, and are you having those conversations? Is there margin for those conversations? Are you planning
Mhm.
those conversations? That has to be priority, and then the other things can fall in behind it. For us, like you said, we don't travel much, and especially with all the added grandkids, we're just not doing that much. But there are a couple times this year where if we are traveling, we're doing it together,
Yeah.
and we're gonna plan an extra day on that trip if it's a work trip, and we're going to take some time to invest in marriage. And so I think looking at things, and this is something that I had to reorient my mind because I didn't see that growing up. I didn't see the togetherness in a lot of things. And so for me, I had to it was a desire, but I had to be intentional about making that happen with us. And so that's something I constantly have to pray through. Okay, how can I do that with Mark? How can I prioritize him and our marriage today, this week, this month, this quarter, this year? What are some things as we're looking ahead on the year? What are some things that I can do that would be meaningful for our marriage and our relationship? And so just taking that, putting that in there first, and then the other things can be filled in the gaps.
Well, and I carry a journal as my backup brain, and throughout the course of the year, when something works, I'll note it. When something doesn't, I'll note it, and I actually put it in file on my laptop
Mm-hmm.
so that when the next year comes, because you forget, you're like that vacation was awesome, or like that did not work at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then 8 months later, you're like, I don't remember what worked or what
Mhm.
didn't. And so I like to make notes so that I can make progress.
Yeah.
And so for us, if we like last year, what would you say was, in recent years, one of our favorite getaways? We put time on the calendar and we planned time together.
Dana Point.
Dana Point. We found this window before Christmas. After Christmas, everybody goes to Dana Point. It's just packed. But right before, nobody's there. It's empty. So we went to this incredible resort on the beach. Nobody's there. We went down to this beautiful private beach. We literally had the whole thing to ourselves for days. So we're going for long walks on the beach. There is nobody there.
We
And
sat in the hot tub. There was no one else there.
and we had dinner on the beach, Sunset Beach, and there is nobody there. I'm like, this is wild. And it was great. We got time together. It
Now
was
there will
wonderful.
be.
Yeah. Now we just ruined it. But for us, it was like, well, that worked.
Yep.
Make a note of that. Anytime we can get away before Christmas and go to Dana Point, that's a huge win. And so it's just making notes the longer you're together of what works and what doesn't work, and then making the course corrections as is necessary. And so for me, I need to have fun on the calendar.
Yep.
I have a lot of responsibility. So I need something to look forward to. Like, where's our vacation? Where's our break? Where's our overnight? Where's our getaway? I need to have fun on the calendar. I need something to look forward to. And if I have it, then I can run through my responsibilities, know that I've got some fun coming.
Yep.
You're more of a homebody. You could just stay home and do the
Totally.
chores and do the laundry and
Yep.
do the things, and I would die. I would die unless I had some fun.
That is fun for me.
Not for me. We're different.
We are different.
For sure. For sure different. We're doing Disneyland after Christmas.
Fun.
Indy, some fun on the calendar for him and hyping him up for
That's
the weeks
amazing.
leading into it. Yesterday, Ashley asked him if he wanted to run errands. He goes, yeah, Disneyland, see Lightning McQueen today. It's great to have fun on the calendar. We've definitely learned that from you guys. It's very fun. I think it's great for kids too. to give
Yeah,
them something to look forward to.
absolutely.
Build expectation, yeah. Well, if you've been paying attention lately, you're probably feeling this way about the economy. It is certainly uncertain. Inflation, markets in question, talks of an AI bubble, everything seems very confusing and also concerning. The question you're probably asking is my retirement actually safe? That's why I recommend diversifying with physical gold and silver from our new partners at Goldco. There's something different about holding a tangible asset. It's not just numbers on a screen that can vanish at any time. It's wealth that has stood the test of time for thousands of years, all the way back to the times of the Bible. Right now, Goldco has a massive offer for our listeners. They'll give you a free 2026 gold and silver kit to help you learn more. Plus, they've got a bonus silver or gold offer, one you can't beat, and that includes a 10% instant match for those who qualify. So here's what you need to do. Give Goldco a call today at 855-512-GOLD. Again, that's 855-512-GOLD, or you can just click on the link below. Thank you to our partners at Goldco, and thank you for following up.
The next thing we wanted to talk about is how to rejoice in victory at the new year, at the end of a year, beginning of a new year. I think you're kind of hitting on what were the wins, but how important is it to the Christian to reflect on their year and be thankful and practice thankfulness?
Yeah, for me, I struggle with this early in marriage. I lived so much in the future, planning, strategizing, that I wasn't good about celebrating the past and what God did.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was hard for you because you were more of a person in the present and more of a person who was just generally grateful.
Mhm.
And so for me, it's required more of an intentionality, I would say.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you've started to keep a list in your journal of the things that you're grateful for. And then when you do your prayer walks, you thank the Lord out loud in prayer, what you're thankful for that He's done, because He's a part of all of that. And that the things that we are grateful for wouldn't happen without the Lord. And when He gets us through trials, when He answers prayers, all the things, big and little, He's responsible. And we need to show gratitude for that. And I think I was thankful for the smallest of things when we got married, and you had all the goals of what you wanted to happen. And so I think we just had very different perspectives. Like you said, I was living in the today and you were living in the future, and you hadn't reached some of those. So you weren't grateful yet, And so we've learned from each other. I've had to learn how to look into the future. You've needed to learn to be grateful for where we're at right
Absolutely.
now. And so we had with the kids, we had I think Ashley actually started this tradition, but we just got a mason jar, large mason jar, and started putting slips of paper with things that we were thankful for in it. And the kids would write something out. I just had a bunch of stacks of paper and they could just put it in there.
It's on the dining room table.
Yeah. And so then, sometimes at dinner we would go through and see what different people were thankful for. And then it turned into a prayer journal, things that had prayer requests. And then we'd write the dates of when those prayer requests were answered, so that I think we often forget after we've prayed for something to go back and thank the Lord that He actually answered those prayers. And so we wanted to teach the kids not to just offer requests, but to be thankful for what God has done and to recognize that He actually did that. And so those were just some simple things that we did. I mean, there's other ways, like in, the Bible, the stones of remembrance are their way of looking back and remembering what God did, the big things that He did, parting the seas and, creating legacies and generations of good. And so there's different ways that you can do that for your family, whatever works for you that makes sense in your family sphere. But it's a really, really good thing. I remember reading a book called Radical Gratitude that really cemented that in my brain, that gratitude changes your whole outlook on life. And so don't just do it at Thanksgiving, do it all year and create methods of doing that with your family.
And for me, Lynn, I like to prayer hike, and Grace mentioned it, and I just offered as a simple thing. When I hike in, I only pray things I'm thankful for and people I'm thankful for.
Mhm.
And then on the hike out, it's requests.
Mhm.
But for me, I try to do a good long hike one day a week. I don't always make it, but a good hour or two of just people and things you're thankful for, it really is good for the soul. And it's pretty amazing that you can fill an hour or two every
Mhm.
single week with
Yeah.
people and things you're thankful for.
Mhm.
Yes.
And then again, my backup brain, I've actually got a list. I've got a list of things that I'm thankful, people and things that I'm thankful for. And then I've got like a super list of things that I'm thankful for in the last decade.
Mm.
And then again, those go into files on my laptop so that I can revisit those and remember those.
Great.
Do you think you'd be missing out on the goodness of God if you didn't practice that?
Yeah, because I'm a driver like you. I live in the future. I strategize. I plan. I'm always thinking about what's next. And I also can be the guy with a critical eye. That's not right. That could be better. That could be improved. And the result can be that I'm missing everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could walk into a room where everything is right and one picture is crooked, and that's what you're looking at.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I have no idea. That's unrelatable.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is more the way that I'm wired. And so that was a discouragement to Grace early in our marriage, because she was like, unless everything is perfect, that's what you talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, that is but I wasn't that way with the kids.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
You had 100% grace for them.
Yeah. So she's like, can I get in the same category as the children, please?
Mhm.
She would ask that.
Yeah, that's just an indicator of wounds underneath that haven't been dealt with in the marriage. And so you start to see with a critical eye, instead of giving grace to that person. That is a practice of gratitude. It's also a practice of forgiveness and repentance regularly in the marriage, just as a side note.
Yeah. Well, and at work and in the marriage, there wasn't the same grace that went to the children.
Mm-hmm.
The children got a special measure of grace from me that I didn't come to them with expectations, demands, and critiques. It wasn't the same. It wasn't a performance mindset. And so with them, there was a lot more easy joy, and there was a lot more gratitude
Thankful
and
for them.
encouragement.
Mhm.
And I hope they would not see me as the critical driving dad.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that is probably the healthiest, best part of me, especially some years ago. That's where children can be a real tremendous blessing and a
Yes,
gift.
for sure.
And so, yeah, trying to get that same spirit into work and into marriage and into other spheres of life. And you probably experienced that with Indy. You don't show up with Indy looking for anything. You just want to hang out and enjoy them. There's a special grace on that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You're just grateful for all of it.
Yep. 100%. He is a blessing, and I'm sure anyone's kids are a blessing to them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You just have to look for it and speak it over them.
Yes.
What are you both most thankful for this year? It can be more than one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some really hard things this year, but I'm thankful for what God taught us through them. I'm always thankful for the lessons, not always thankful for the trials, but I'm glad that we made it through the things that we were entrusted with, and thankful for health for another year, and just for our marriage, for grandkids, for 3 kids that are married and
Good marriages.
good marriages. Like I feel like there's so much to constantly be thankful for, that I want to wake up in the morning and be thankful that I have another day to enjoy what God has blessed us with. And yeah, I think a lot around family for me. I mean, the ministry did well for women's ministry. We had an incredible year, and I have an incredible team, but yeah, I mean, the family stuff is just, it's amazing to me. I feel very humbled that we have such an incredible group of families in our family.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm blessed to do what I do. I love Grace and the kids and the grandkids and the extended family. But, for me, just very grateful that in his kindness, God has kept his anointing on me.
Hmm.
And if he takes it off, nothing that I am doing has any effect of any sort or kind. And, because I'm a Bible teacher, that's my core. And if God decides, hey, I'm going to take the Holy Spirit off of what you're doing, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just over. I mean, I can work as hard as I want. I can try as much as I might, and it's all for naught.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just grateful that I've had another year that God has anointed what I'm trying to do, and he's worked through me. And I don't take that for light, and I don't take that for granted. I absolutely don't deserve that to any regard. It's the kindness and grace of God. But when God works through you, that's a remarkable, humbling grace and
It
blessing.
is.
And at any point, he could say, "I'm done now," and he hasn't said that yet. So I'm just very grateful for that.
Yeah, that's good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Very cool.
How about you? What are you thankful for?
I am thankful. Yeah, it's been a very hard year, as you said, Grace. But coming home to Ashley and Indy, and the amount of joy that little boy has, it's like life can be very, very hard, and you come home to him, and trains and trucks and horses are the whole
Nothing else
thing.
matters.
So, very thankful for him. Very thankful for Real Faith, the ministry I get
Yeah.
the honor of leading, and the team around here. They're incredible, and they love Jesus, and
Yeah.
they're very loyal to the King. So it's yeah, it's a sweet season. It's been a hard year, but the fruit afterwards is
Yes.
very cool.
Amen.
Very cool. We want to close out this show with a few questions that we had emailed in. What would be one or two things that for you, for men, for you, for women, that would help them be a better Christian this time next year? What are some things they could do this year? Very practical for a man or for a woman.
I mean, it really is getting back to time in the Word, time with the Lord, um, doing the vision casting so that you have your priorities reprioritized for the year. That will help you grow as a person. You can't help but grow if that's where you're focusing, because God, we will grow through His Word and time with Him, period. We'll grow in character, we'll grow in humility, we'll grow in faith. And those are really the things that, I mean, I want to continue to focus on: more time studying, more time in prayer, more time with my husband, more time with kids, grandkids, because those are the areas that God has called me to in this season. And I want to minister to the women's ministry well, but I'm not the only teacher. And so I just want to do well when God calls me to teach, and then assign other people that can do the same. And so I think as a woman, um, keeping our priorities will allow us to grow more and more each year. And I can look back and see the years that I didn't have those right focuses, that I didn't grow as much. And it makes me sad that those years are gone. But I know that God can expedite the future, and he will honor our honoring of him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the years go by quick.
they do.
It's if
They
you're
do.
not intentional, they fly
Yes.
by.
Yes.
Yeah, and the older you get, the faster they go. It's just wild.
Yeah, there's brain science behind that recently came out. It's life seems so much slower when you're young because so many experiences are new. So your
Okay,
brain
that makes
remembers
sense.
things, so it's slow. And then the older you get, there's less new memories. So then it just speeds up and speeds up and speeds up. And it's very interesting.
How wild is it to look at a photo of Indy a year or two ago?
Yeah.
I mean,
It is.
yeah, it's wild. Yeah, I appreciate the question. I would say, as a man, do the hard things first. For men, there's always hard things that they need to do, and they put them off or they do them last. Do the hard things first, whether that's taking care of your health, whether that's repenting, whether that's getting a new job, whether that's, having conflict, whatever it is, do the hard things first. And if you don't do the hard things first, eventually you get a backlog of hard things to do. And that's when life starts to crater. And then the second thing is, I just would encourage everybody, but if the question is for men, study the Bible book by book. As simple as it sounds, that's what I've been doing my entire adult life. Just pick a book of the Bible, start with a short one, something you're interested in, and just study it. Get to know the author and the history, and study the commentaries, and get to the point where you're pretty familiar with the themes and the flow, and then pick another one, and then pick another one, and then pick another one, and then pick another one. And what most people do, they read the Bible, but they don't study it. And as a result, they don't really have the depth and the rooting that when they really need God's word, they don't have their roots deep enough in it to keep them from being blown over when a storm comes. And so, yeah, you're never going to regret really studying the Bible book by book. And I would just encourage everybody to do that. I've been doing that my entire adult life. This year, my focus is the book of Exodus. That's what I'm doing this year. I'm taking a year and I'm doing Exodus. And I'm very sure at the end of the year, I won't regret it. I've never taken a year I've never studied a book of the Bible and then at the end thought, dang, I regret that. There's a lot of other things I've regretted.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a good word. It's a good word. I think for Ashley, and I, both your guys' wisdom, I think one of the most important things you can do, especially a young couple, is set a cadence of check-ins on this stuff. Because we can have resolutions, we can have all these great visions, but if you're not checking in on each other, how are these things going? And ask your spouse if they want some accountability in where they want to grow, and then just have a good process, because a year goes by quick and we slip back into our patterns, and it's just, oh crap, we're at 2026 is over.
Exactly.
I think, thank you guys for that wisdom. And to Pastor Mark's point, reading the Bible is one of the most important things you guys can do. And we have a resource. If you text Bible to 99383, Pastor Mark and Ashley put together a Bible in a year plan. So you can walk through the entire Bible on the YouVersion app, and there'll be teachings from Pastor Mark throughout, and it will really, really help you. I guarantee that you will not regret reading the Bible in 2026. And if you haven't done the whole thing, this is the year for you. So that's Bible to 99383. Bible to 99383. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this year's New Year's Mark Driscoll Show. And if you guys have any topics you want us to hit next year, email them at hello@realfaith.com. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys.